Well, this shouldn't come as a big surprise to anyone who's ever, I don't know, watched Jurassic Park.
How do you know they're all female? Does somebody go out in the park and pull up the dinosaurs' skirts?
We control their chromosomes. It's really not that difficult.
Or read the Bible. But now they're coming out and admitting via a new study that CRISPR DNA editing can actually cause hundreds of off-target mutations. Oops.
Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
They've only been telling us for the last decade or so how revolutionary and amazing being able to go into genes and just snip out parts you don't like and change it up is just so awesome. And now, oopsie, they're finding out it's actually not awesome.
We control their chromosomes.
It's really not that difficult.
I'm going to go ahead and guess, without reading very much into this at all, that it has to do with the fact that they still don't understand how epigenetics works. And the fact that they are so drunk on their own brilliance at trying to play God at this kind of level. There were warnings about this. Lots and lots of warnings. They were just like, no, we have the science. Here's our giant banner of science. We will wield it everywhere. We will do whatever we want. I don't think that they fully know exactly what they're doing. And when stuff like this comes out, it becomes really apparent. And this came out a couple weeks ago, and right after it did, the people who did this study were attacked all over the media for rushing to judgment and stuff like that. But it's the same kind of thing that happened when the scientist who did all of the Monsanto research on the rats that were fed the genetically modified food, that guy had been around for years. He had over 100 research papers under his belt, and they attacked the crap out of him too to try and discredit all of his research. And his research has been upheld. So I'm sure eventually they will come out upholding these people's research too, even though they're trying to attack them. We don't know what's really going on with all of this or how far it's really being taken in some of the more privately funded underground labs around this country and the world. But what we do know is they've come out with stories like this. This one came out a decade ago, and I would look at this and go, yeah, that just sounds crazy, until I read that the evolutionary theorist who came up with this is from the London School of Economics, and he's saying that the elite, there will be an attractive, intelligent, ruling elite, because they will have access to all this gene modification stuff, and the rest of us will be the underclass of dim-witted, ugly, goblin-like creatures, harkening back to H.G. Wells' Time Machine with the Morlocks and the Eloi. And if you've seen that movie or read that book, then you know the Eloi were incredibly stupid. They may have been attractive, but they actually weren't intelligent. So anyways, they plan to do all of this gene editing and make themselves these demigods who can run faster and jump higher and have Mensa-level IQs and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, everyone else is going to eat genetically modified food, take their vaccines, drink their fluoridated water, and bathe themselves in electromagnetic radiation all day long and basically get sick and die, dumb themselves down, and screw themselves up genetically. And that's pretty much the plot of, I don't know, every Rockefeller Foundation report that's come out since they started releasing them in 1914. This is your new eugenics right here. They just don't call it that, is the point I'm trying to make. And even though they've been working on this for decades, it doesn't look like it's going so well. They're messing with something and they don't even know what they're doing. Meanwhile, you got those people that if it's the banner of science, they're just waving it around. We've got the science. You've seen the people for whom science is their religion. You've seen those people. And as long as someone says it's science, they will believe it. It does not matter. They've been programmed. If it says the word science, it must be the most brilliant, wonderful thing ever. Like, there's just no clue that science can be bought, it can be steered, it's used to suppress things all the time that are 100% true.
Do you need to convince your shareholders and regulators that your products are safe and effective? Concerned they're not seeing things your way? Why not give them a new perspective? Throw some professional science at them.
I'm not saying science has no validity. I'm just saying, in this day and age, science, it goes to the highest bidder. It goes to eugenicists like the Rockefeller Foundation and people like Bill Gates And corporations that want to hide their dirty laundry under tons of scientific jargon and semantic arguments and things like that. That's science today.
You know, up to now, I kept thinking that everything science did was good. My training, I suppose. Now I'm not so sure.
And if the science is not going to a billionaire who's going to pocket it, and it's not going to a giant corporation, a big pharma outfit, or big ag, or something like that to protect their interests, then it's going to the military-industrial complex. And then you have these people who they've been programmed that if you say the word science to them, you could justify doing pretty much anything, no matter how much of a terrible idea it is. You can justify it, and they always come in with reasonable sounding, give us an inch, we'll take a mile kind of things, where it's like, oh, we have to have, babies with 3 parents because this poor couple, they have a genetic disorder, and so we have to try this risky technique where we really don't know what's going to happen when the baby passes that genetic line down to her baby. We have no idea. So starting last year, we now have babies being born with 3 parents. And they were only supposed to do it with males, and then they ended up having a female. And the guy said, well, there aren't any regulations against it, so we thought, what the hell? And so now they don't know what's going to happen with that. They have no idea what's going to happen when that baby girl grows up and has her own babies, and those babies pass that down. They don't know. Meanwhile, Oopsie, this gene editing technique that we've been using everywhere and shoving it in everyone's face all day long, how we can play God, isn't exactly working the way they thought it would, is it?
John, the kind of control you're attempting is, it's not possible. Life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, well, there it is.
When I say we're living in a science experiment, this is what I mean. They keep doing these things, and they don't really know what they're playing with. They don't. But all they have to do is wave this banner of science. Because in the technocracy, science is the new religion. They just walk around all day with a banner of science. Look at my beautiful science. It's so awesome. I am the scientist. I know the things about the stuff. And I will do the things, and it will be great, because there haven't been copious amounts of Hollywood movies and books and warnings from people from time immemorial, going all the way back to the Bible, that this is a really bad idea, right?
Life finds a way.